want to start the event here. Right, good day everyone, we're live. I'm really behind. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm just topping up some milk. Probably not the best time to do it. If you want to ask some questions, Michelle's there, you can ask some questions. We have to change the bit rate down to 480 bits. It's pretty poor. We're still having issues. Oh, we're still having issues with our internet speeds here in Australia. Everywhere we go, and we're in the city now, we seem to get worse and worse internet speeds. And we've actually changed the bit rate. Is it going through live, Michelle?
Yeah, it's good.
We've changed the bit rate down to 480 kilobits, which is basically 1980 internet speeds.
We've got Jacob and Stephanie, Byron.
Hello everybody. Jan. How are you?
These twins.
I'm making a coffee live on the broadcast just to kick this off. Pop the coffee up there, pop it underneath. Hey everybody, how are you? Froth my milk. We're having real problems with the internet, and I was getting to the point where I was wondering whether we're even going to be able to do this live stream. Hello everybody. Jamaican girls in as well. Bee Swins, Sahani. So I've just got myself an espresso shot. How's everybody's day? Everybody having a good time? Now it's beautiful and warm here in Australia. Any Aussies in? Beautiful and warm. I'm just going to make this, look at this. I'm not going to do any latte art, mainly because I can't. But I am going to get myself a nice bit of foam on the top there.
I just welcome. Hi to Byron.
Hey Byron. Well. Now, chin chin everybody. We are in Melbourne city centre at the moment. We'll be here for a little while. I hope the sound's coming through okay. Can everyone hear me? Pardon me for making the coffee. I was going to make the coffee before the start, but the stream kept saying it wasn't any good quality, so I've adjusted it down to 480. I hope it's not too bad. It still says bad, so yeah, hopefully you can see me. Cheers everybody. Byron's in. Betty Share is in. Hello Betty. Jacob's in. Jamaican girl is in. Amabari Singh is in. Hi. B Swins. Hi, how are you? Jan. No worries. Good to have you in. Jacob. Have I missed anybody there? It's 4 AM in Germany. Ah, guten Morgen, Betty. Wie geht's? Sind Sie müde? You should be asleep at 4 AM, Betty. What are you doing? Oh, you've just got up or you haven't been to bed? Look at these mangoes I got today. With a new store just opened down the road here. Brand new store, literally opened this morning. And when mangoes smell as good as that, they're going to taste good. So they're doing all sorts of... Buenos Dias Vlogs is in. Hello, buddy. Pablo, Southern California. It's great to have you in, Pablo. Pablo's got a great vlog, by the way. I've been watching his transgressions, or I think he's setting up a new channel as well. So you might want to get across and check out Pablo at some point. Anyway, they've opened. Look at these beautiful pink blushes on these. What mangoes were these ones we got in the end? Do you remember?
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Oh, they're soft.
Kensington
mangoes, but they smell so good. So we're going to make good old Aussie yogurt here. Yogurt for my American friends. This is a whole milk yogurt. And I just said to Michelle, the mangoes look good. The yogurt was on special. It's about $5, I think, for a great big tub like this. The coconut milk, the coconut water was on special. We only went in to have a look. I came back with about 8 shopping bags. The two of us dragged them up the streets. Michelle was carrying we're like a couple of cart horses. And I said, I really fancy a mango lassi. So we've got everything in. I've got a little bit of cardamom, little bit of salt. We'll make that in a little while and show you how to make it. You're working, Betty. Guten Morgen. Greetings from India, Mahesh. Greetings to you. What part of India, Mahesh? So, hello to everybody. Straker's in. Greetings from New Hampshire. Wow.
Stephanie right at the top.
Oh, Stephanie. Stephanie's in as well. Stephanie Brand. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Now, I didn't do a live show last week. We were going to do these every Thursday, but what happened last week was Friday arrived before Thursday. I don't know how that happened, really. Michelle, do you? No. Friday arrived before Thursday. We were sat there Friday afternoon and we said, we forgot to do a live show on Thursday. So, sorry about that. It wasn't intentional. It's just the days got mixed around. Did anyone else have Friday before Thursday last week? Very odd. Possibly only in Australia. You're welcome, Pablo. It's always good. Bangalore, Mahesh. Welcome to the live stream, mate. Welcome to Australia. Beautiful, sunny Australia. I've had to close the blinds down. It's so warm today. Ruby from Arkansas. Ruby Slippers from Arkansas. Is that a Wizard of Oz reference then, Ruby? Possibly it is. Never thought of that before. Oh, we got straw. How much were these strawberries? 99 cents. And they really small punnets. They smell good, right?
Taste it.
Oh yeah, they smell good. 99 cents a punnet. It's a brand new store. They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's a big store as well, like a grocery store. I don't know the suburb it's in. I don't know the area that well. So it's not far from central CBD. Probably about 10 minutes out from the CBD. I'll try and find out and put some information about it. The spider chip, they like the spider chocolate chip cookies. I remember you mentioned about that, Stephanie. How pretty is that? Can you see? Look at the latte art. Not really latte art, but it's got a nice foam on it. I am experimenting with my new coffee machine. I'll show you it later on when I've fathomed it out. It's a brand new coffee machine. It's really cool. It's a little bit lavish, but it makes really nice coffees, or at least it can if you know how to use it. And I think I'm getting there. We just got to find the right coffee brand. I think we're going to do a little review of different coffees on the channel at some point. Now, I don't know if I can make this bigger so I can see those comments. Possibly not. Ah, yes, but then they just zoom out. So Michelle will tell me if you put a comment in there and I miss it. Yum, Jan, the strawberries were good. Who likes pickled onions? We got fans of pickled onions out there? Rolf is in. Fans of pickled onions. Tomorrow on Steve's Kitchen, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about pickled onions. I forgot about this, but I saw the pickled onions over there. We've just made them. We're still filming a little bit on the hoof at the moment, so what I filmed yesterday is probably going up tomorrow. If you like pickled onions, my battery is going low on my laptop, so I'll just go around there and plug it in. If you like pickled onions, if you go to the supermarket and you buy a jar of pickled onions and they're all gummy and gooey and sort of soft, and you remember in the old days when pickled onions were crisp and they bit back, you know, it's because most of the supermarket brands and most of the modern recipes want you to boil those pickled onions, and that's not the way we used to do it as youngsters. So look at this. Beautiful jar of pickled onions. Wow. And because they're not boiled, they're going to have a lot more firmness to them and flavour. They're not going to be leached. A lot of the flavours aren't going to leach out into the vinegar. They're going to be crisper. They're going to take a little bit longer to ripen, as I like to think. So they're going to be ready for December, for the run up to Christmas. I was having a little think. One of my subscribers quite often asked me to make Branston Pickle, and when we were when the kids were younger and we were in our little farm in France, we always used to make our own Branston Pickle. So I'm going to do that. I think we'll do it, won't we, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Branston Pickle, pickled onions. Maybe we're going to do a ploughman's lunch. Something. Who knows what a ploughman's lunch is? If you do, comment down below.
So Straker likes pickled beets and onions.
Pickled beets and onions. We should do pickled beets.
Your Paris likes pickled onions. He cuts the onions up into thin slices.
Yeah. What do you do that for, Rolf? You just like them sliced up. Good pickled onions shouldn't be too small, unless you want the little silver skin ones.
Claire Ash likes small pickled onions. Are amazing.
Yeah, the little silver skins. But I just miss. We've tried every brand of pickled onion from the supermarkets around us, from traditional English recipes and the most organic ones, and they all are mushy. Like the outside layer or 2 layers of the pickled onions is soft and spongy, and it shouldn't be like that. Pickled onions should bite back when you bite into it, and so I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow on Steve's Kitchen. So you can join me if you want. You can get some little pickling onions or some little shallots, whatever you can do, and get yourself some pickling spices. We buy pickling spices here in Australia, so but you can get it's not cardamom, it's dill, allspice, which are actually little allspice. So let's see if we've got them, Michelle. Allspice, some mustard seeds, a little chili if you like, and you're going to want some malt vinegar as well. These are allspice. They're actually little beads. They're not black pepper as often people think they are. They're a fairly old spice. They're great in Christmas puddings and things like that. I use them, for instance, I use them in my Branston Pickle. And they're called allspice because I think when they discovered them, the sailors first discovered them, they couldn't decide what they tasted like, and they had a little bit of star anise, a little bit of little ginger, little black pepper, so they had all sorts of flavours, and they're called allspice. Maybe you know about them already. Pickled pearl onions. I think we call them silver skins. I don't know if they're called that now.
That's the F2 dot who was in here an hour and a half ago.
F2 dot, you were here super early. Was it you that said first? No, it wasn't you that said first, but you were super early. Oh, it was you that said first. Amateur Bakers in. Hi, how are you? Ishwara Ash. I'll call you Ash. Aishwara. I'm sorry. So, sometimes I struggle with names I'm not super familiar with. So I have replied. No worries. Yeah, it was you that was in early. So anyway, so we've got some allspice. Being in the city, we've got all the great grocers around us, sort of different ethnicities as well. I got a phone call coming through. We'll be hanging up on that one. How dare they phone me at this time? No worries. Hi, ha, ha. Don't read the comments, Stephen. You'll make an absolute mush of yourself. We are going to be making a mango lassi because Michelle fancies one and I fancy one, and the mangoes are so good. So any questions? Any questions I've missed, Michelle?
Well, Rolf Harris said he adds curry powder to the onions and it was good. He said, why shouldn't you slice the onions before you pickle them? Whole pickled onions are really sharp and I get acid stomach.
There is no reason why you can't slice them before you pickle them. You'll end up with something akin to sauerkraut, I guess. It's not really a sauerkraut because you've got lemons. You can do that. See, I like the tartness and the crispness of the onions. If you cut them up, they are going to lose some of their structure. They're going to lose the ability just to take them out. Oh look, we come from a tradition of cheese, pickled onions, ploughman's lunches, lovely fresh cob loaves, and you just want those whole pickled onions. If you want to cut them up, go for it. There are no laws or rules about this. The only thing I'm going to say is the pickled onions I'm making are the best. But to me, not necessarily to everybody else. Hola, Mama Resita. Hola, how are you?
Lisa Thompson says hi.
Hi Lisa, how are you? What's Ruby saying poor baby for?
Is that the roll?
Anybody want to say hello to my little friend? Anybody want to say hello to my little friend? Oh. I can get him. We've got Masa in the title. Who knows what Masa is? Now look. If you know, or say hello to my little friend. Say hello there, Beanbag. Look at this fella. He is the cutest little Chihuahua, and he looks like a miniature Rottweiler. This is Beanbag, by the way. Say hello, Beanbag. David, how are you? This is Beanbag. He's like gone to Willy Wonka's with Mike TV. He's like a perfect little Rottweiler who's gone through the little TV machine and shrunk down, and he is cute, and he's nervous. He obviously doesn't like being on television. No, he's not. This guy's not nervous. This guy is absolutely full of beans. Ain't you, mate? What's that? It's because I'm talking. It's because I'm talking, you see. Oh man, Lassi, I love Lassies, but I love Indian cooking in general. My auntie is, she's passed away now, is Indian, and she was a great cook, taught me a lot. So, my little friend is going off now. I'm not sure if he likes being on television. Say goodbye to everybody. Go on then, little bean. Pickled eggs, Ruby. We pickled eggs. The problem with pickled eggs, Ruby, is that they eat too quick. Our kids, when I used to, you have to do so many. You have to get the big jars and fill them up with loads of eggs and pickle them. And then with my kids, you'd open up. You have like maybe a dozen eggs in a jar. You'd open them up. Anyone want a pickled egg? 5 minutes later, they've all gone. So all that work. Because everybody in my family loves pickled eggs. Well, we haven't made pickled eggs on the channel. We haven't made pickled eggs on Steve's Kitchen. Anybody like my little friend, the bean?
Yes, 2 people said hello.
So,
DF2 Dot said that love those dogs. They think they're 10 feet tall.
They do think they're 10 feet. Pablo, yes, you should know what Masa is. Pablo, wait there. I have been making, let me just get in here, in the fridge. Pablo, I've made my own Masa, and I mean literally made it from scratch. And this, oh man, this takes me back to Mexico. This takes me so back to Mexico. We made atole with this yesterday, Pablo. I don't know if you know atole. I think you probably do. Oh, it was to die for. Lovely. And you can see what I've been doing is just scraping it out. Okay, everybody. Let me just clean my hands because I've been carrying the dog. I don't want to get in trouble. Not that he isn't beautiful and clean. Not that it isn't beautiful and clean, but I don't want to get into trouble with that with people. I would. It wouldn't bother me. But look at this beautiful masa. This is homemade fresh masa, and what you do is you have to actually nixtamalize. You have to get corn and put it in a very strong alkaline solution for some time. I'll be doing a video on it, so I'll explain to you. So you make these little balls, and you can make this into fresh tortilla. Such good fresh tortilla. They use this in Mexico. They use this dough. This is, as I say, this is not a flour dough. This is straight from the actual corn itself. They use this to make almost everything. And there's a smell to it. It's like a buttery sort of smell. And I've been trying to play with my Mexican recipes, and nothing was coming out right. Nothing tasted like it did when I was in Mexico. So I said, no, we've got to get the flour. Now I have found a supplier here in Melbourne, El Cielo. I think the guys, maybe I'll put a link in this chat if anybody's in Australia, because he does actually deliver Australia wide. We'll put it not in the chat. We'll put it in the comments down below. So if anyone's in Australia, they want to get a hold of Masa flour, but this is not from Masa flour. This is fresh Masa. And yeah, Pablo, you know the smell of fresh Masa? How can you describe it? It's like sweet corn and butter mixed together. So, Ruby, I'll get Michelle to read the comments. If I read them, I'll be all over the place. So I've got a little press. Maybe I should do a Gadget review. Who'd like to see a Gadget review? Now, this is actually a little flatbread press. It's an Indian press they use for making puri, but it's also great for making tortilla if you're a little gentle on it and don't overdo it. So fresh masa, nixtamalized, not easy to say with your teeth in, nixtamalized dough.
David Neely saying, making a chocolate cake, do you have any suggestions? And then he says it's a box cake I'm making.
David, you mean you bought a box with some flour in and a bit of cocoa? Yeah, I mean, look, when you buy box cakes, you should look at my series I did a little while ago called Pound Cakes, and it's a whole series on pound cakes, which are basically when you buy a box cake, you're buying a box of flour. Often with a bit of cocoa, sometimes with sugar in. Very often is the case, they'll still want you to add your own milk, your own eggs, and everything in there. So you still get that sort of slightly processed flavour, because they have to use some preservatives and some chemicals in there to keep the dispersion of the flour and things. But anyway, I'll forgive you getting a box cake. But yeah, if they say use eggs, use good eggs. If they say use milk, use full cream, rich milk. If they want you to use butter, use a little salted, good quality butter. And all of those things will increase the quality of your box cake. You basically have just bought a box of flour and sugar.
So asking, what about the icing?
Icing?
Yeah.
Well, is it got a pouch of icing, which again is just a bit of cocoa and powdered sugar? You see, a box cake might cost you anywhere from sort of $2 to $10, depending on the quality of them. If you actually make those yourself, and you follow my pound cake recipe series that I did, you can probably make a box cake for yourself for under $1, because you really just need a little bit of sugar and flour, maybe a little raising agent in there at all, because most of what you have to buy to go in the box cake is the more expensive stuff, which is still cheap, like eggs and milk and the likes. So if you're going to put a glaze over the top, what was it asking about the icing?
Yes.
I'm guessing it has a pouch of icing in there. So again, if you want to make it taste a little bit nicer, just add better quality milks or better quality whatever the ingredients they ask for.
Making homemade icing.
Are you going to make a homemade icing? Then probably make a nice little chocolate ganache. Just get, I mean, for me, if I'm going to have a box cake and I want to take it up a level, it'll still taste like processed cake, mind you. But if you want to take it up a level, you can make a ganache, and that is just basically getting some chocolate melts. You pop them into the microwave, very short bursts, or you can do it over a double boiler till you've got the chocolates to melt, and then add some fresh thick cream into that and just mix it through. You've got the sweetness, you've got the natural cocoa butters, you've got the cream in there. If you need to, you can add a little vanilla bean into it or something like that, and that'll give you a beautiful icing. Otherwise, most people will just use powdered icing, confectioner's icing. We call it, I forget what we call it, icing sugar. I don't even know what we call our own stuff anymore. I use so many different names. A lot of people will just use icing sugar and mix that with water. Now I mix it with milk. If it's going to be eaten fairly quickly, you can use fresh milk in there. And I would also add a little bit of lemon zest into it. So I'd grate a little lemon zest and some vanilla if you wanted to. It doesn't really need the vanilla, but that is a very highly sugary coating. So have a play.
So Jan says she's getting hungry, got to go for a snack, be right back.
Yeah, me too.
And Pablo says, next time you're in Cali, you have to come by my mother-in-law's house for some fresh Mexican food. She makes the best tortillas on the planet.
Oh man, Pablo, I'll hold you to that.
And Ruby's asking, corn or flour? I think she's talking about the masa. You made it with corn.
This is corn. Now, we can't get really good corn in Australia. We can't get any of those beautiful white corns. So we've just got regular corn. Now, it doesn't make the best masa, but it makes pretty good masa. It takes a little bit of time, and I'll be teaching you on the channel if you want to learn all about this style of thing. And you can make... do any of you know what a toli is? Well, I'll probably see if anyone comments. But you can make your corn chips, you can make a tortilla, you can make your tamales. Actually, I reckon the tamales would be good with this as well. Haven't made them with this one yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Lemon zest, yes, David. Just a little lemon zest in with there will just rise. It depends on the cake. If it's a chocolate cake, it wasn't it? Lemon and chocolate, still quite nice. If I was maybe a chocolate cake, you could go with a white icing over it, like a lemon icing, and then rather than actually adding milk or liquid in, because you don't need much liquid to turn confectionery sugar into an icing. You could actually use lemon juice, a little bit of lemon, and you can put that over the top of the chocolate cake. You've got that combination of that sort of rich chocolate. Also, if the chocolate cake's a good one, if you enjoy it, you can raise it a little bit by adding some more cocoa into it, get a richer, darker flavour as well.
Stephanie said, I bought a big can of pumpkin puree. Any ideas what to do with it? Other than making a pumpkin pie. Ruby has answered pumpkin bread.
You could use it as a paperweight, hold down the papers and things. Is it a sweetened pumpkin can? I mean, do you know, Michelle and I, we bought pumpkins over Halloween, and I know after Halloween they all go super cheap, so you can buy that sort of stuff. If it's a non-sweetened and it's just a regular pumpkin, it makes fantastic smoothies, doesn't it? I mean, it really makes such good smoothies. If you got yourself a blender, you pop your pumpkin in. I'd say coconut water, but you can use almond milk, or you can use regular milk. You can use water if you want. Put your pumpkin puree in there. Your cooked pumpkin, because the canned ones are cooked.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the canned ones are always going to be cooked. I've never really had canned pumpkin because we make a lot of it. Then a little bit of pumpkin spice or cardamom or cinnamon and some oatmeal, about half a cup of oatmeal, and you blitz that up It's delicious, man. It's like going to a Starbucks for a cafe, a pumpkin spice latte, but it's 10 times nicer because it's like it's thick. It's really good. So you could do that with it. Who said pumpkin bread?
Ruby said pumpkin bread.
5 stars, Ruby. Pumpkin bread, you can't beat it. I've got a recipe for pumpkin bread. Michelle, could you pop that up? My assistant, my lovely assistant, will pop that up. Pumpkin bread. One of my favourite things to do with the pumpkins around Halloween time is to make a pumpkin bread. It almost outstands a banana bread in it's been so delicious. But pumpkin smoothie, gorgeous. Pumpkin smoothies. So Michelle will share a pumpkin bread recipe if you want one. I don't know if it's the best one. It's certainly the best one that I can offer you at the moment. Can you hear that? Can anyone hear that helicopter going over? I think they're probably looking for me.
So Amateur Baker says, hang on, are you back in Australia?
Yeah, I am back in Australia. Where have you been? I am back in Australia. I'm back in Melbourne. We're going to be in Australia for the next year. I think we're going to take everybody around Australia with us and see some beautiful, beautiful things. I'm really looking forward to it. It's probably going to kick off more towards after Christmas because we've got quite a busy run up to Christmas. And then we're going to take you out, show you some kangaroos, koala bears, some of the beautiful sights and sounds. A lot of people don't know we have skiing in the mountains here in Australia, and we have some of the best ocean fronts in the world. So we're going to take you around and show you and share with you some of that and some of the great food, the cultural food from Australia, and some of the foods from the countries we've been visiting. Hence we are doing Mexican food, and hence I am messing around trying to recreate those authentic Mexican flavors that we had when we were in Mexico. So if a lot of you like us have only really here in Australia gone to the supermarket and seen all the tortilla breads, which are often wheat-based breads as well, but even if they are maize, they're not always that great, and you haven't had really authentic Mexican food, that's what we're going to be trying to show you on the channel. Probably towards Christmas, maybe a little bit after Christmas. We're not sure. It's taking some time. Even to make masa from scratch takes some time. But if you want to follow along with me, and if you're in a country where you're lucky enough to be able to get really nice grain, you're gonna have some fun.
Amateur Baker says, is cardamom powder made of the whole pod or just the seeds?
It's generally made from the seeds. The pod itself outside is very fibrous. They don't tend to blend them down. It's actually fibrous. It's quite lemony. The pod, if you bite the pod itself, it's quite lemony, as opposed to the. So that's why you tend to put the whole pod into Indian cooking. I'm telling you this from my memory. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. It's got a slightly lemony texture. I don't know if I've got any cardamoms here. Doesn't matter. So no, they just use the seeds. I'm saying they do. They may these supermarket Let's have a little try of this. I will try it.
It's going in my smoothie.
No, they use the pod. They use the whole pod. I'm backpedaling. They use the whole pod in that. So because it's got that, I can taste the. There's quite a difference between the pod and the seeds in flavour, and I can taste that lemony. So I should have known really. Why is supermarkets are going? But it's not a bad thing. I mean, it imparts quite a nice flavour. Definitely the whole pod. Backpedal all together. Or you can, if you try cardamom powder, and you'll get a sort of citrus flavour. That is the outer part of the seed.
David Neely in Indiana, USA. The time is 11:03 p.m. here. What time is it there?
It is. Who's asking that, David?
David.
It is 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon.
And he's asking, you ever made whiskey flavoured cookies?
No. I have to think, because there's a chance we might have done, because around Christmas time you were often putting brandy and things into cooking, but no, not whiskey. Have you made whiskey flavoured cookies? I'm not sure how it would work. I don't know how whiskey flavours would affect on the cookie. You could probably use it for a nice shortbread, like a Scottish shortbread, but the actual the grainy undertones of a whiskey might not go that great with cookies. But
Stephanie Bryant says whiskey flavoured cookies. Never heard of that. Ha ha.
I've had whiskey flavoured sweet things in the past. You can certainly get whiskey flavoured fudge, and whiskey brandy flavoured fudges. If you know what fudge is, it's crystallised sugar with cream that's cooked to a soft ball solution. We've got many fudge recipes, I think, on the channel, and they quite often use that with a bit of whiskey. A lot of people would say, why would you waste good whiskey? And I suppose you probably wouldn't waste good whiskey. You'd probably use a cheaper whiskey for cooking, because the alcohol content generally is going to burn off. You're not going to. These are not alcoholic cookies, by the way. Once you bake a cookie, there's no alcohol in there. You're just going to get the residual flavour of the whiskey. Like many things when you cook, some people say to me, "Oh, they don't want to have the brandy in a Christmas pudding." By the time you cook the Christmas pudding, there's no brandy left in it. It's just the essence, the flavours, the oaky flavours that you get from the brandy, which is something kind of special at Christmas time. And then if you do what we do, which is to flambe the Christmas pudding with brandy, then you do get even more flavour, but you burn the alcohol off, so it's fine for children. Yeah, whiskey, fudge, and what are the Scottish make? It's not fudge. It's not slab cake, is it? There's a Scottish fudge. The name will come to me in a moment, and you're welcome to throw it up there if you call it. It's not slab cake, but they quite often do that with whiskey flavours and things. Now, who was it? Was it Stephanie or Ruby? Who was it who was saying to me about doing an Irish cream creamer? Anyway, someone was asking me about that in the comments this week, and I think I might try and do that over Christmas. We often make our own Bailey's Irish cream. I'll ask my lovely assistant. Come and say hello to everybody, Michelle. I'll ask Michelle to check it out. So you just pop online. Here she is.
Hello, everybody. I'm just going to go and pop online.
She's going to pop online and just see, she's shy. And we've got a recipe for Bailey's Irish cream, which is really quite simple to make as well. And somebody asked me if we could do a creamer. Would I add cream as well, Ruby? What, to the fudge? Icing. You've made icing with Irish cream. Well, yes, Stephanie, that would work, and that's got whiskey in it. So yeah, that would work. That would contain alcohol, though. That would have to be certain that's suitable to your guests or whoever you're serving it for. I have to get and open one of these mangoes. Which one shall I go for? Oh, they smell so good. Okay, I'm gonna. You guys get on and chat. If you have anything to ask, I'm just going to take my knife and just whoops, find the edge of my mango and just follow the knife around. Now let's have a look. Oh, yeah, they're looking good, looking beautiful. My knife's a little bit dull. Now this little section in the middle here, I tend to, I won't be able to do this, so Michelle can do it. Just, where's my steel? Let's just get the edge up on this. So I tend to just whip the skin off and give this to Michelle, and she will absolutely love getting all the flesh off of this. So that seed there, you can you see the bruising? Even if I just squeeze that, you can see how soft that is. And I'm going to give that to Michelle. Maybe you'll have it later, unless you want to eat it now. She's going to eat it now. She's going to eat it now. And then I'm going to take this mango. We're going to make a mango lassi if you've got mangoes, and I'm just going to score it. I'm going to make a little hedgehog cut for this. You can actually just peel your mangoes, and just gets a little bit more slippy, slimy. So I'm just scoring it across. Perfect. Voila! There we go. We've got those beautiful pieces of mango now. I think I might use a spoon and just spoon these off into the blender. I'm going to make a mango lassi. Now, lassi has, in my experience, I like a lassi with a little salt in it, a little salted lassi. So lassi. Why am I saying lassi? I don't know. It's my so I'm just using the back of the spoon just to pull that away. Oh, that is so juicy. Okay. Now, Michelle actually ate that. So if you're asking questions over there, she's not paying attention because she's dripping mango down her chin like a child.
Stephanie's given Ruby a recipe for the Irish cream.
Oh, good, good, good.
Icing sugar and milk, and a splash in as much Irish cream as you want to get the flavour.
Can you hear Michelle talking, everybody? Can you hear her when she speaks over there? Hopefully you can. I'm probably just about to get mango all over my computer. So.
And Richard Baker says, every time I try to cut the mango, I end up having the knife go through the skin into mine. Oh,
you're pushing too hard. It's just a bit of practice, really. Oh. That is delicious. Now, just rinse my hands off. I am still here. What did I do with my tea towel? So we've got fresh mango in the blender. Now, I'm kind of making it up as I'm going along because we only just decided to do this today when we saw the mangoes. I've got whole milk. Now, when I was looking in the store today, there were two or three different yogurts. And one lady said to me, oh, I always get this one, pointing to one, same size tub as this. And and I said, oh, well, that one, I looked on the back, and that one is made with powdered milk. And this one here I've got is made with full cream milk. None of that low-fat nonsense. So the one she was showing me was made with low-fat powdered milk. There's no point. I don't like yogurt that's low-fat generally because I want. Oh, look at this. So we've got a lovely thick yogurt. You can hear Michelle. Good, good. That's super. She's probably not much further than I am. I go with about a cup and a half. Leave my cup in there. Oh, that's a nice rich yogurt, by the way. That's almost Greek. It isn't a Greek yogurt, but it's almost Greek. Now, ordinarily I'd put a little milk maybe in with this, but I'm going to put about half a cup of coconut water because we've got it. No other reason really. We could have used any liquid. Just to break down, just to break the yogurt down a little bit. If your yogurt is thin, you can go straight with the yogurt. Now, a pinch of cardamom, a pinch, maybe a pinch and a half. That doesn't go in there very well, does it? Or I like cardamom in my mango lassi.
Pablo has to go. This is bye.
Bye, Pablo. Loving your vlogs, mate. I know you were having a bit of a thing where you were thinking about whether to do them. I love them, mate. If you haven't checked out Pablo's link, Michelle will put your channel down there, Pablo, now. So take care, mate. Have a good time. We'll put a link down to it. Get across and subscribe. I'm going to put quite a bit of salt. Quite a bit of salt. I know it's not healthy for you, but I want roughly a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. Now I'll give that. That's going on the blender. I'll get Michelle to do it over the in the other room there, so it's not killing the noise. Pop the lid on, and when Michelle has shared Pablo's channel, which, by the way, this guy, I met Pablo at VidCon with Bria, his beautiful daughter, and lovely people. And Pablo is the most dedicated blogger, and he puts so much good content up. He talks about meditation. He talks about sort of, you know, being at peace with yourself. He does a lot of jogging. He does all sorts, Pablo. He's a lot of fun. Check him out. Got my coffee still. Going to be having a mango lassi in a moment.
David nearly asks, what about nutmeg?
Nutmeg. I could put some nutmeg in there, but I won't bother. I've got fresh nutmeg. Little bit of nutmeg, you can. That is going to take just a minute. Whilst that goes on, let's just juggle with mangoes. Is that noisy? No, I'm not too kind, Pablo. Your channel's great, mate. You're a lovely guy, and you're entertaining as well. So, I'll get myself a couple of glasses because I am going to have to share this. Any questions I missed? I'll get Michelle. If you've got questions, chuck them up there. And Michelle will be with you very shortly. I could probably, now, if I come over to the microphone and hit you. Okay, mute does work, but I'm not going to bother. How did that come up?
Looks good.
Do you see how that worked? You know how Friday came before Thursday, and now somehow your mango lassi gets blitzed without you leaving the screen. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 look at this. Fresh. Oh, man. That is my glass. So if there's not enough in this one, this will be Michelle's. Oh, what? What's the chances? Did you see that? She took my glass. You know, can you just... Got it back. Got it back.
David nearly says, in the drink you're making, can you put sweetened condensed cream in it?
You could, but you could. I mean, the liquid is of your choice. I mean, you want the mango. You want the mango to shine. I just got to get mango off my keyboard. You want the mango to be the star of the dish. Sweetened condensed milk has some caramelized flavors in it. It has some quite an intense sweetness in there. So you could overpower the mango, and I wouldn't want you to do that. I think you can use coconut water. This isn't coconut milk, by the way. This is just a very thin water. You may have seen it. So it will impart a tiny amount of coconut flavor. But here, chin chin, let's give this a try. Oh man, is that good?
It's good.
Is that good?
Amateur Baker says, don't you want to pass the lassi through a sieve? No.
No. No, I don't want to pass it through a sieve. It's smooth as silk. The salt is very important, just to lift those sweet flavors. Oh man, that is good. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. No, you don't need that through a sieve. It is silky, silky smooth. You might want to just put a little bit of cardamom or nutmeg. Actually, would be. Was it David that said about nutmeg? You might want a tiny bit of nutmeg on the top. That would be nice. Oh man!
It puts salt around the rim sometimes too, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes before you put the glass, you can't do it after the mango's on there, but you could put a little bit of salt around the rim of the glass. Then you don't need to necessarily put the salt in the lassi itself. You do need very ripe mangoes. They want to be nice and soft, and we should talk more about fruit on the channel. I haven't tried mango. No, there's no, in a very fresh mango amateur baker, there's very little fibre in there at all. Well, there's fibre in there, but nothing fibrous in it.
The Calypso mangoes, they're less fibrous. I don't know if they get them overseas.
Yeah, we have Calypso mangoes that are almost like baby food. They're so soft. No, yes. Now, Stephanie, you bring up a good point there. You're saying I have a fancy blender, and yes, I do have that blender, but it is just a blender. Before I did about 50 Smoothie Tuesday series before with my old blender, which was also a Breville. I know I do use a lot of Breville stuff, only because it's an Australian company, and I try to support local businesses, and they make good stuff. But I had a blender before, which was a Hemisphere. It was only about $150 or so. I think it wasn't expensive, not an expensive blender, and you can get them online even cheaper if you shop around. And that worked just as well. I mean, it was equally as good. And you can make. You do want. I mean, the nice thing about, I think, with the Breville blenders is they've got like a domed bowl. They call it the Hemisphere at the bottom, so everything sort of like throws up. A lot of blenders come down to a sort of like like this at the bottom, and then the blades come up, and everything seems to get null. So no, it would work just as well on a mango lassi. Would work on the cheapest of cheap blenders. It would possibly even work on an Audi blender, and that's saying something. Or Lidl or Audi. Sorry.
David Neely says, what about using pineapple and banana with coconut water?
That's almost like a pina colada smoothie. Yes, it would work. It would work. The coconut water, I'm not sure of the nutritional value of coconut water. I don't think it's, certainly hasn't got high fat content in it, and it tastes nice.
Zero fat.
So it's a good alternative to putting in what I would normally put in would be my full cream milk. You've got the Ninja. Well, the Ninja would do it no problem. I only heard about the Ninja. I think my good mate Raggy Ragsdale, who's a fantastic guitar player and ukulele player here on YouTube. I think he said he had a Ninja, didn't he? And
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Are they the people that make bullets as well? I'm not sure.
So, Straker saying, hey Steve, just an observation, technical question. I'm experiencing a lot of buffering issues. Is anyone else? I think Ruby might have been earlier on because she didn't have audio or video.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what I can do yet. Where we are here, there seems to be no better internet. And I've taken the actual bit rate down really low. And so I'm just sorry, it's not your side. It's saying at the moment that the stream is good. It's my side. Unfortunately, in Australia, we're rolling out what they call national broadband. It's not that great. It really only almost gets us up to the levels of what I was. Well, no, it doesn't even bring us up to the level of what I was getting in Hanoi in Vietnam. And at the moment, we haven't got there. We're literally getting upload speeds of about 0.7. So I'm doing my best. We might try and get some mobile solution. So I think everybody is getting it. Any other questions?
No, not at the moment. I can see.
Now we are going to be doing this Mexican series, as I said, we've got our fresh masa. We were going to try and get it all done before Christmas, but I think what we're going to do is sort of, if we can bring it in a little bit before. I want to do it well. And I don't want to do it all in one sort of hit, so we'll do it over a period with some other interesting stuff, so I don't bore you too much with just Mexican food. Thank you, Jan. I'm just reading. What's Ruby saying there, Michelle?
Yeah, just bought a blender for $30 with 2 bullets, a picture, and a mini blender attachment.
Ruby, that's super cheap, and I suspect, apart from the fact it will be when you go at the cheaper ends, sometimes the motors burn out if you put too much strain on them. I'm sure it's going to work fine. I'm sure it's going to work absolutely fine. The reason I was looking for a high-end blender for the channel, because I'm going to do a smoothie series for the next, we'll probably run this for at least 6 months, maybe even longer, and I do want to just buy one blender. Sorry, I know in this case Breville sent it to me, and it wasn't because I asked them, they just said they'd like to, but we were going to get it anyway. I wanted one that was highly reliable and didn't have any issues with it, and I was actually going to get the one I had last time, the Hemisphere, but where we were, we couldn't find it, so I called them up to try and talk with them about where I could get it from, and then they offered to send me. We've actually got some other Breville items that we've purchased, which I'll be sharing with you and showing you as we get and use them.
So B Swin says better choppy Steve than no Steve.
Thank you.
And David Neely says you need to do some live shows. I think probably like you used to do.
What, like the older, the live cooking shows? This is a little bit close to it. I'm in the kitchen. We're here, and we've made a lassi, and I could cook up some flatbreads, but I think I'd have to move everything around. It's about 4 o'clock, I think, Derek. How are you? Welcome. Anyone else in that's lurking that hasn't said hello, just get and type, say hello so we all can get to see who is lurking and just watching. We know you're there. Come on. Come out and say hello.
Amateur Baker says you're making me very hungry.
That is so nice.
That's good.
That is so nice. I love lassis anyway. I quite like a plain salted lassi. I quite like anything lassi. And also you're getting all the goodness of your yogurt or yogurt. So you're getting those natural bacteria that are in a yogurt that's good for your stomach. And hey, Derek. Thank you, buddy.
David Neely says in the USA the Ninja blenders cost about $130 US. And Ruby said it was on clearance for $89. I broke my old picture and melted the bottom.
Well, $89. I thought Ruby said it was $30. Ruby, you said it was $30 with a bullet.
Maybe it was $89.
Oh, okay. From $89. Wow, that's cheap.
So Jan's getting sleepy, so she says take care, have a great day.
Yeah, love to you, Jan. Take care. I am probably not going to stay on for ages because I think our internet, but I will do this again next Thursday, or internet permitting, and probably about this time. Did we do it this time, the time before? Well, now I've got this coffee. Sorry, it's jumping. Now I've got coffee. And I'm not going to drink that coffee because the flavour I want in my mouth at the moment is that beautiful lassi. Wow, delicious. We're going to, you know this masa, by the way, you can use this to make really authentic corn chips. So they're fried. You just roll them and make corn chips. And this is going to be lots of fun. And it's gluten-free. So another plus, you know, it's completely gluten-free. And when you make tortilla from masa, it has a sort of almost a glutinous texture to it. It's quite a good dough. It develops quite nicely. So if there's any of you out there that are gluten intolerant, you will probably like the Mexican series, because we'll be showing you some breads that you can make with fresh corn flour, masa. Brilliant, David. Well, we will see you next Thursday then. Are we going to wrap up, Michelle?
I think I'll be on now. So.
Join me tomorrow. Pickled onions. Get yourself some onions. Get yourself some pickling vinegar or some malt vinegar. I'll get Michelle. If you don't know what malted vinegar is, it's just a regular vinegar that's made with malt extracts in it, so it's a dark coloured. You call it malt vinegar. And we're going to make some delicious, ready for Christmas, we're going to make some delicious pickled onions. And then we might actually make a ploughman's lunch. If you don't know what a ploughman's lunch is, one of my favourite pub grubs of all time is a good ploughman's lunch. So simple, but we're going to be making everything. I might even try and get hold of Gavin the cheeseman and see if we can't get him to make us a cheese. There's an Aussie lad over here, Gavin. I might try and get hold of him. So we're going to try and make everything ourselves.
Clash Roy Block says, do you like turtles? First comment.
Hey Clash, how are you? I do like turtles. Are you talking about Ninja Turtles or real turtles? Either way, I love them both. Oh, come here. Come and say goodbye. Come on. Come on. Oh, because the little fella, he's normally all over me like a rash. But I think he's quite aware that you guys are there. Look at him. This little fella is normally bouncing around. Say goodbye to everybody. Go on, Mr. Bean, little bean bag. Anyway, love to you all, and love from the little bean bag as well here. And yes, for those of you that didn't see him earlier on, he's like a perfect miniature Rottweiler that's been through a sort of shrink machine. Love you all, take care, and see you next Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow, Pickled Onions, and over the weekend we've got another video going up, so stay tuned, be good.